So today we're going to be talking about prime rib. Right here I do have a beautiful prime rib. This is about a 17-pound prime rib. Generally I'm going to say it's about a pound a person is what you should probably plan on for your holiday gatherings. There is a little bit of shrink once this cooks off, and we're also going to trim this quite heavily.
So is this what it looks like when it comes out of the bag?
Yes, this is straight out of the bag. It's not been trimmed at all. I have not seasoned it or done anything to it, just simply taken it out of the bag. So this would be exactly how you see it. These are bone out prime ribs. It's about probably a 17-pound roast. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna wanna trim this down. Some of this is not very tasty of the fat, so you wanna get that off so you can really get the beef and people get the most for their money. So very important, you have a very sharp knife to start. Anytime you have a dull knife and you're cutting this big of a piece of meat, it gets dangerous, actually, because the knife can actually jump, or if you come towards yourself, it can cut you. So you want to have a very sharp knife. So I want to make just a little incision right along the top of the prime rib, and I want to take that fat and grab it so I have something good to hold on to while I'm trimming it. And then just take my knife and go right across the top of that prime rib. These scraps, you can actually save them for anybody who hunts and makes wild sausage game or anything like that. This fat is absolutely tremendous to grind up with your sausages. You can put it into hamburgers just to eliminate some of the waste rather than just throwing it away. So once I've gotten that top little piece off without taking off too much meat at all, I want to just trim up these little pieces of connective tissue and also some of the silver skin that's on the meat. And the silver skin is that kind of opaque, clear covering over the meat, and it's not very pleasurable to eat, so you want to really try to trim this up nicely. Once we've gotten that off, I want to take this upwards with my knife, not to get into the meat to cut too much off, but I want to take a good amount of this fat cap off. So if you did have a bone-in ribeye, or a bone-in prime rib, this is where the bones would be coming out of. So to continue and finalize butchering this down before we get it for seasoning, I want to just take this connective tissue off where it joined to the ribs, because when this is cooking, it's going to cook kind of uneven. These are going to get more done than what the whole prime rib is going to. So I want to just take my knife and take these little knobs off where it connected to the bone. Again, saving our scraps there.
Well, these look like pretty good scraps, Andy. Maybe a sandwich or soup.
Some of my cooks absolutely enjoy when I trim prime ribs because they take all these leftovers and make all kinds of little concoctions. So right now, we have the prime rib completely butchered to where I would season it or cut it into steaks from this point. We talked about the ribeye coming from the same portion of this meat. So when everybody is out shopping, we did talk about about a pound a person, but if they're large loins like this, I would like to show you how to cut it down into ribeye steaks that you could freeze for later. So once you could do a prime rib, steaks, or all prime rib, either way, but it's just gonna give you another option to make the most out of this piece of meat.
For more Cowboy in the Kitchen, visit montanabeefcouncil.org.